Hello, my name is Valencia and I'm an 8th grade G&T student. My focus of Project 1 is describing the COVID-19 pandemic, how it has affected the daily lives of people, and how businesses have been coping with this pandemic. I've used both my research and my personal experience for this project. I've learned many new things from this project, and I hope you do as well.
Okay, so coronavirus. So here's my table of contents, like which slide is which. So we have the introduction first. So the description. So the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is a respiratory disease caused by SARS-CoV-2. This virus spreads easily from person to person. The COVID-19 virus spreads primarily through droplets of saliva or discharge from the nose when an infected person coughs or sneezes. So symptoms of COVID-19, there's a whole list here, and however, symptoms differ for other people depending on age, health conditions, and immune system. So we have the journey to the global pandemic. So in early December 2019, the first case of a new virus was discovered in Wuhan, China. Near the end of December, China alerted the World Health Organization, also known as the WHO, about a few cases of pneumonia cases. On January 11th, the first death from the COVID was reported, and a few days later, China was put under lockdown. In the end of February, a few cases were reported in Washington, New York, and California. All reported that they had recently traveled to Wuhan. Slowly, more and more people from around the world contracted the virus. On March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus a global pandemic. Many countries went into lockdown and numbers rose almost every day. It was officially chaos. So how it is categorized as a pandemic? So a pandemic is an event in which a disease spreads across several countries and affects many people. The coronavirus outbreak began in Wuhan, China, and it gradually started spreading to countries all over the world. And the virus has affected about 67 million people. Well, now it's more because this was written a while ago, so yeah. How it affected people's lives. So how it affected education. So the pandemic deeply affected education. At the end of March 2020, many schools switched to homeschooling. Many teachers assigned work using Microsoft Office, OneNote, and Microsoft Teams. Many teachers also held Zoom meetings and video calls with their class. In the new school year of 2020 to 2021, schools started reopening for in-person schooling. Students had a choice of in-person schooling or homeschooling. Those who chose in-person schooling wore masks, kept the distance, had plexiglass around their desks, and had regulations to prevent crowding in the hallway. Those who prefer homeschooling were given stricter rules due to a high amount of cheating in the previous homeschooling school year. So like many teachers still use the previous tools, and some use other platforms for teaching. Mostly all work is online, and video meetings with classrooms and teachers often take place. Also, some schools allow students to switch from in-contact schooling to homeschooling in the middle of the school year. How it affected the workplaces. Because of the pandemic, many people started working from home. However, some jobs, such as store workers and delivery, require one to go out of the house. Places such as restaurants may not get as much customers anymore because of the pandemic. Many restaurants now do takeout, drive-through, and delivery, but some restaurants go out of business due to a lack of customers. How it affected social life. Because of the pandemic, most people don't go to large parties, eat out, and/or have large gatherings. Instead, if one hosts a party or gathering, he or she will only invite 10 or less people. Everybody would wear masks and social distance. Family and friends nowadays do not hang out as often as before the pandemic. Most of them just FaceTime and text each other to communicate. Plus, most people nowadays don't dine out with friends and family too often anymore because of the fear of the virus. How it affected self-care. Before the pandemic, many people went to places such as the barbershop to get a haircut and a hairdo. Now, many people attempt cutting and styling their hair by themselves. Many people used to work out at the gym before. With the pandemic, less people are going to the gym. A lot of people work out at home nowadays. Some people who try to avoid visiting the doctor in person may use telemedicine, which is meeting online with a doctor. Some people attend the doctor's office for yearly checkups. If there is an emergency, the person must go to the doctor/hospital. How it affected childcare. Now that many parents are working from home, they not need to send their child to daycare. As a result, many daycare businesses are suffering due to a low number of customers. And how it affected recreational life. Majority of people do not travel currently because of the pandemic. Many vacations have been canceled due to the pandemic. Sports, such as basketball, have also been affected by the pandemic. Teams are smaller to prevent overcrowding. All teammates must wear masks. Extracurricular activities, including music classes, dance classes, and art classes, are now online. Teachers meet with their students through apps like Zoom. How it affected people emotionally, I don't know how to say that,
Psychologically.
Yeah. In March 2020, many people were shocked and scared about the pandemic. Everybody felt like everything in their lives had completely changed. Some people became paranoid about going out to the public. Students were also in a shock because they had to start homeschooling. Some adults started working from home as well, depending on their job. In June 2020, the number of cases slowed down because of the warm weather. Therefore, people started going out to places like the beach and the malls. People started hanging out with friends and family and continued to social distance and wear masks. For once, people started to feel happy again since the start of the pandemic. In September 2020, a lot of places started opening up again, including restaurants. People spent more time together with their friends and went out more. People were overjoyed that life was slowly getting back to normal. In December 2020, places are planning to close again because of a second wave. Since the weather is getting colder, the COVID is spreading easily again. The nation is planning for another lockdown, so many people are getting very upset with this. Some have started protesting as well. How businesses are living with the pandemic. Amazon. Because of the pandemic, more people nowadays are ordering things online than physically going to stores to buy things. For this reason, Amazon has been thriving during the pandemic. More people are purchasing things online than ever before. During July 2020, Amazon announced that its quarterly profits had doubled to $5.2 billion, compared with the $2.6 billion at the same point in 2019. In addition, online shopping has become popular around holidays, including Christmas. Around Christmas 2020, more customers had ordered from Amazon, for huge crowding in the shopping departments was not allowed because of the pandemic. Shoppers also purchased loads of supplies like hand sanitizer, face masks, disinfectants, household products, and groceries from Amazon. If there was a second wave of COVID and another lockdown, Amazon's profits would increase even further due to a popularity of online shopping. CEC Entertainment, which is Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese was hit hard by the pandemic almost overnight. They usually hold kids' parties, game nights, and fun for children. Because of the pandemic, people had online parties instead, played online and board games, and played with friends over meetings and calls instead. Therefore, not many people held large in-person parties, gatherings, and went to arcades anymore. Chuck E. Cheese's revenue plummeted by 90%. Also, they had to deal with a nearly $1 billion in long-term debt, so they are struggling to financially recover. About 47 Chuck E. Cheese places have closed during the pandemic. They have also included takeout to help them during the pandemic. And here's my bibliography, the websites I use. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening.